Hey there, welcome back to the second video of my scripting tutorials. In this tutorial, we'll finally have some fun with Roblox Studio objects rather than printing ugly text and numbers into the output. First and foremost, Roblox treats the elements of your game as objects that are held in a tree data structure, where the game is the root of this tree. When it comes to services as children of the game, an illustration diagram will be shown on your screen right now. Every service serves as an important component that makes up the game creation process more intuitive and easier by giving functionality and adjustments using its properties and unique characteristics. For the sake of this tutorial, I'll give a quick explanation of the workspace service. Simply takes the service as your game universe where all of its children act upon physics and get rendered to the screen. In contrast, any element that isn't a descendant of workspace won't be affected by Roblox physics engine, which handles collision of objects with each other and forces like the gravity. Additionally, it won't get rendered to the screen, therefore won't be drawn into it, thus making them unable to interact with the game world and the player and also invisible to him.
Alright, Code Sotako, we're done with theory and all those crazy technical details. Can we dive into practice now?
Sure. First of all, let's see where the actual services is. And so as you see, there is the workspace, lighting, replicates first, replicates storage, service script, service storage, starter GUI, starter pack, starter players, sound service, chat, localization service, and test service. So at least this is the services that are visible to us as Roblox developers. So there's actually more services, but a lot of them not they're hidden. Okay. So first of all, let's create a part and make sure that it's in the workspace so the player can interact with it and can see it. And how we can do that, we're simply going to select the workspace. I already selected the workspace, and I'll click this add or add icon or plus icon, and I'll just add in a part. And as you see, our part actually got inserted into the workspace and precisely in top of our base plate and in the center of our screen. Okay, or of our view. Now, secondly, we're going to make a script and make it as a child to the server script service. Just to mention that server script service is just a safe container or folder for your server scripts because no one can steal it from your game and it makes your game organized. Okay, let's create a script inside the server script service. Okay, so let's just get a script going, and after that we will rename the script to make it easier for us to recognize. In this case, the script will change the properties of the part, so I'll rename it to properties changer. So I already selected the script, so I'll just click again into its name, as you see, and I'll write properties changer. You can actually, of course, you can name your script whatever you want, but I'm just going to do that. Just make sure to give your script a meaningful naming so you can know what it does. And if you have a lot of scripts, you can know what each script is for. So now that we have our script open, we'll start by making a comment starting that or stating what this script does. So we're going to write this script will change some properties, and of course I type slow because actually I'm holding my phone in the other hand, so just bear with me here. And so yeah, for testing purposes, or no need actually. So just note that comments won't be executed by the machine, but rather it's there so humans can read it, as a result understanding what the code is made for. Now, in order to change the properties of an object, first of all, we need to tell the machine which object we want to change in another way where it's localized. So if someone tells you to actually pick up an item or change the item or modify it, and he just told you to modify the item, well you don't know where the item is or what it is, so how you can modify it where, well, you don't know actually the item. So yeah. Now, and here we're going to apply what I mentioned before, that states that objects are organized in a tree data structure, starting by the game data model as the root. So we'll type game first. Then in order to access the child of that object, we use a dot operator. So first of all, let me actually type in game. So this is our game data model, which actually contains the services. So actually game is a local, like actually a global object, okay? It's a single object and it's a global, okay? So anyway, and I don't think it's crazyable, of course, because there's one game in the game. So it's really, this is what actually represents your game. Anyway, so we'll use the dot operator here, which is simply, of course, used to access the property or child of a specific object. Like so, our object is located in the workspace. So here it is, and it's called part. So we write the following: game.workspace.part, and I just auto-completed by using Roblox to auto-completion by just pressing enter, as you see, and it's already there. So game.workspace.part, great. Well, now congrats, you just guided the machine to locate the target object. After that, since we want to change a property, let's say brick color. So actually, let me explain a little bit here first. So here you gave the script or the machine an item. So first, for example, I actually told you to change or actually just gave you an item, but I didn't gave you what to do with this item. So you won't do anything with it. So here where we should actually give an action. So here actually we want to change the brick color. We will tell the machine to actually change the brick color. So we just add another point, okay, so this is it, and write the property after it, which is, in this case, we want to change the brick color property. By the way, if you want to know the properties that is inside every object, you just go into it. Like for example, workspace, they have this properties like current camera, distribution or distributed game time, name, parent, primary part, allow third party sales, archivable, falling parts destroy, high filtering enabled, gravity streaming enabled, and such things. Okay, and here the part, this is our like current target part that we want to actually change the brick color of. So as you see, brick color right now it's medium stone, and they also have a lot of data, or actually a lot of properties that is really categorized by like meaningful names, actually, like appearance and data, behavior, part, surface inputs, and surface. So anyway, I won't actually go into details for now, so I'll just actually change the brick color here, and if you click this, you'll have a palette here. Okay, so you'll have a palette. Now we want to actually choose a name or a color of this palette. For example, I like this color right here, it's called really red. So I'll just make sure to recall this name and make sure to actually write it correctly and perfectly. Okay, so even the R, it should be uppercase. If it's lowercase, then it won't work. So yeah, and really all the colors here are actually starting by a uppercase letter. So just to mention, because really machines, as I said in an earlier episode, they're really strict with their work. They know what you're telling them. So for example, string with the B character uppercase, it's really different from a string with a character B like lowercase. Okay, so yeah, I hope I didn't inverted that, but anyway, game.workspace.part, the brick color equal to. Now this is the action that we want. We got the property brick color of the part. Okay, now this is the action that we want. We want to assign. Okay, so we actually placed here the assignment operator, which means we want to set a new value into this brick color property in this object that is called part inside the workspace, and of course the workspace is a service, which means it's inside the game. Now, the value of brick color is actually another data type. It's not like, for example, cast shadow. If you can see here, it's just a checkbox, which means it can be true or false. It's called Boolean value if you just want to know. Color, it's color tree. Value, material, it's just a string, or you can have an enum, but reflectance is just a number between 0 and 1. Transparency is just a number between 0 and 1. Really, I don't want to go into details in this video, so I don't make it so long. So game.workspace.part.brickcolor equal to brickcolor.new. Okay, so this is the data type, okay, name. So dot new. So I'm going to create a new brick color here. So there's a lot of ways to actually create a brick color, as you see here, but I'll just use the string way of doing it. Okay, so just put in the string that I showed you earlier, which is really red, and as you see, auto completion actually gives us a lot of choices here, but I'm going to go with really red. Great. Now let's run this and let's see what's gonna happen. And our brick color is changed from medium stone into really red. Good. Really awesome. Now just note that if your brick didn't change color, make sure that your script is located in the server script service. Okay, so make sure your script is located under server script service, because if it's located somewhere else, that it may not run. Okay, so for example, a replicated storage, I don't think server script will run. Okay, so just make sure that it's actually inside the server script service. Okay, so it runs properly. Also, make sure that the names are completely correct with the letters as it is. Even uppercase B is different from lowercase b. Next, let's change. So as I said, and let's change the transparency to whatever we want. It should be a number between 0 and 1, as I stated before, where 0 is completely opaque and 1 is completely transparent, and of course, like 0.5, which is in this in the middle, it will be half transparent and half opaque. To see the effect of the script, I'll just add a wait function call into the beginning of the script, and I'll pass in a number 2, which means the machine will wait 2 seconds before going into the next instructions, which is in this case changing properties. So let's just create or actually write our code. So first of all, I'll need to actually address again this part, but it's really tedious to actually rewrite the path again, so I'll just store it actually in a variable. Okay, so I just did Control X there to cut the path. Okay, so I'll do local part equal to this. Okay, so local part equal to our game path. It's the same actually, and here we'll just replace that by part. Okay, so it's actually the same thing. And so yeah, now let's just do part dot transparency equal to, I'll choose 0.5, so it's a like middle, like half opaque and half transparent. So it's just, and as I said, I want to actually add a wait in the first, like a wait call in the first line. Okay, wait, well, actually not here. Let's just declare the variable, it's okay. And but actually here we're actually changing the properties, so here where we can actually add the wait. It doesn't really matter, but just it's better. So wait 2 seconds. Okay, so here I'm just waiting 2 seconds. So what it does, it's going to go and it's going to find a comment in the first line, so it's, well, ignore it. Local part equal to game.workspace.part. Now it's finding here the variable assignment. So as you see, a variable assignment to a variable called part. And if you see here, this is local, and in the last episode actually I didn't really I forgot about it completely. I didn't explain it well. Simply, this local, it's kind of the same, but just really much better. So it's just a local to this script. It's not a global to all scripts, but it's just better to use actually local. But I'll actually make a video about it in a more detailed manner. But if I try to go into much details right now, I'll just make the video really long, and we really don't want that. We just want to stay in the scope of actually changing some properties. But so yeah, now we'll just run the game and waiting 2 seconds, and here we go. We have no errors, of course, and our part is actually really red with the brick color really red. Here we go, and the transparency is 0.5. Great. Now what about making a better example by using a while loop, which simply, whilst condition is true, it will repeat the code inside it infinitely until the game evaluates to false. So I'll just do the needed editing and screen right now, and I'll run the game. After that, I'll explain the code again to recap. So let's do it. So before wait, I'll just add a while true do, and of course I should not forget this end right here. Okay, and I'll just select these lines and I'll just tab them up so it's like more friendly to the eyes, as you see. Now I'll just add another wait actually, or actually what we're doing here, so let's just go with a wait without any parameter. Okay, so it's going to be a really small interval. Let's see what's gonna happen actually. So nothing really fancy, it doesn't look like anything happening, but actually there is a lot of things happening. This part is constantly changing its transparency and brick color, okay? But we can't see it because really we're changing it to the same one as it, okay, as you see. So even if I selected it, it goes back constantly into it because it's a while loop and it's with a small interval of a wait. So I'll just make sure to add actually wait, because if you didn't add it, then the game or Lua interpreter will just try to actually set the color and properties of this part like a lot of times and just depress the processor and stuff like that. So the game will crash, or at least if you're lucky, a script timeout. Okay, so just make sure to add a wait, at least with no parameters, but you can actually add a parameter here to specify the seconds that you want to wait. Now let's just actually, what I'm going to do, instead of the breakColor.new, I'll do another thing, which is breakColor.random. okay, so here it is. It's a function actually. It returns a random brick color. Okay, so if I did this, it will return for me a random brick color, literally a random brick color. Okay, so let's see what's gonna happen here. And as you see, it constantly changes the color, which is pretty nice to see or to look at. Anyway, so let's actually do wait 1, for example. So there's going to be an interval of 1 second, and let's see. And so every 1 second it changes to a random color. Okay, so if you see the properties, and here we go: slime green, pastel light blue, oyster, black, slime green, and so on, which is really looks cool actually. Now what about if we want to set a random transparency? Well, this one is actually out of the scope of this tutorial, but just as a fun fact and to see how much you can do with scripting. Really, this is really basic. I mean, like, you can do some massive stuff with scripting. It's really fun when you actually get into it and practice and experiment with your own ideas and stuff like that. So for the transparency, let's just do math. Okay, so this is actually a global variable again, which holds some functions that actually helps us do some mathematical operations. Okay, and I'll select math.random. Okay, so this math.random, you give it two parameters. First of all, the minimum value, and then the maximum value. For example, here in the transparency, I should give it 0, 1. Okay, so the minimum value is 0 and 1. But here, let me tell you this. Math.random actually returns an integer, which means a whole value or a whole number, which means it can't have a like a comma. Okay, so here I have math.random 0, 1, which means it's going to be either 0 or either 1. But actually we don't want that. We want the transparency to go like between 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and so on and so forth. So what we can do is actually do between 0 and 10. Okay, so this will give us actually, or maybe even 0 and 100, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. So math.random 0, 100 divided by 100. That's it. So math.random 0, 100, it will return a random value or a random integer number between 0 and 100. Okay, so what we're going to do with that, we're actually going to divide it by 100 again. So we will get a random number between 0 and 1 in a precision of 2 decimals. Okay, so yeah, and I think we can test right now. Let's run. And here we go. The transparency is also actually changing randomly. So as you see, it's just invisible right there. And let us see. And here we go. Transparency, and with actually a precision of 2 numbers. Okay, which is pretty much great. I love this. Anyway, so this is about it. So finally, I hope you learned something with me. Please make sure to read the description if available, because sometimes I put in there some valuable resources that can help you. Also post a comment down below about what you learned and if there's anything you don't understand. And oh wait, we're not done yet. I just want to say make sure to play through properties and experiment yourself as you wish. And if you want to learn more about a specific part or an object, you just search or research in Google, for example, Roblox API brick color, and suddenly everything related to that particular information is in front of you. You just need to learn the right way to search for it. And let's just see how we can do that. You just open up your browser. Okay, you go to Google. Okay, so like this. Alright, now we are in Google. Well, I'm just going to do Roblox API, and I'll add what I want to know more about. Okay, so in this case I want to know more about the brick color property or brick color data type, and I'll select actually the first one, which, as you see, developer.roblox.com, and as you see, this is the brick color data type API, or like the documentation of it, and here it's the property actually. So just first of all see the property, and here we go, brick color. So it's a value type, so this is the value type of it, or data type. Okay, so just see this property, for example, the brick color property determines the color of a part. If the part has a base part dot material, this also determines the color used when rendering the material texture, and so on actually. And as you see, even you have more examples and stuff like that. If you see here the data type brick color, okay, Brick color is a data type that provides a predefined list of colors, although any color imaginable is supported through a partspacebar.color property. To view a full list of available brick colors, see the brick color codes reference. Okay, and here we go, the constructors and some descriptions about it. It's all functions that you can use and also properties. And so here again, some brick color codes as you see. And so yeah, that's just you can really do much just researching actually. So the Roblox API, really, when I actually discovered it, well, not discovered, but I just found it and no one actually said to me about it. And I was just searching and I found actually that there is something called an API reference. So Roblox API, and of course the Devorium, but I'm not going to go into the Devorium right now. So Roblox API, and here we go, Roblox API reference manual. And here really you have everything around Roblox functions, properties, classes, Lua, and everything's up there. Also, do you have there's a lot of stuff you can research in, so I'll link in the description all the links that you need. Also, you can actually join my Discord server so we can discuss, and you can discuss with the community, and so we can help each other and just be creative and have fun. Now, I like to call programming the art of logical thinking because it's all about solving problems in a creative way. Thank you for watching. Consider subscribing and turning on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. My channel content is getting better and better every video because I'm putting a lot of efforts into every video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike the video if you didn't like it, but please make sure to have a strong reason for it. And I'm listening to your feedback and share with your fellow friends that are interested. You know, having a friend that you can learn with is pretty fun than starting at your screen like staring at your screen like a lonely idiot. Programmer, the right friends and are great because they make everything fun and interesting. And oh, I almost forgot, thanks for your constructive feedback on my last tutorial. Notably, I want to thank Nicknames, Danila S, Neo, and Rav Gaming. I hope I followed your advice in this video. Other than that, see you next time with better tutorials. Ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. Or you let yourself